Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. Today's video is a collab with Kat over at Southern Farm and Kitchen. I love watching her videos. She is so funny, she's really down to earth, and everything she makes looks delicious. She does what's for dinner videos, grocery hauls, recipe videos, and more. I'll link Kat's channel in the description box below. As soon as you're done watching my video, head on over to her channel, show her some love, and subscribe to her if you're not already. If you're coming to my channel from Kat's, welcome. I do weekly what's for dinner videos, grocery hauls, and more. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you'll consider subscribing to my channel. If you're a returning viewer or subscriber, thanks so much for coming back. I really appreciate your support. In today's what's for dinner video, I'll be sharing with you what meals we had this past week. Our dinners were easy to make, budget-friendly, and delicious. So if you'd like to get some weeknight meal ideas for your family, then just keep watching. For dinner this first night, I made ribs. Now, my dad actually gave these to me. He found ribs on markdown at Kroger, and look at this crazy deal that he got. This rack of ribs was almost 15 bucks, and he got it for just over $3. Is that not crazy? So he grabbed several and gave us one because we love ribs so much. I'd never tried this kind from Kroger, especially the cook in a bag, and I was a little hesitant about cooking it in this bag, but it actually turned out really well. So I'm just going to cook this according to the package instructions. I'm going to keep my sides super simple tonight. First, I'm going to take this can of seasoned collard greens, place them into this pot. I also added just a small spoonful of bacon grease, maybe not even a tablespoon. I'm going to stir that around and then just warm those up. I had part of a Velveeta block that I wanted to use up, so I made some quick macaroni and cheese. I just boiled up some elbow macaroni noodles, drained them, put them back into this pot, added a little bit of milk, that block of Velveeta, some slices of American cheese, stirred that together until everything was melted. Here are those collard greens, and then for the ribs, once they were done cooking, I removed them from the bag, placed them back onto the cookie sheet that I'd cooked them on. I brushed them with a little bit of barbecue sauce and placed it under the broiler for a couple minutes. And here are the finished plates. We have the ribs, the mac and cheese, and greens. And my husband liked some of this hot pepper sauce on his greens. This was a really yummy dinner. It was super easy to put together. And those ribs, if you have a Kroger near you and you see those, I recommend you give those a try. Tonight for dinner, I tried a new recipe for a Doritos Casserole. This is actually one of Kat's recipes. I'll link her video for this in the description box below. But here's how I made it. I'm going to start out by browning my meat. Now, her recipe calls for ground beef, and you can use that. I have some ground turkey breasts, though, that I'm going to use up. You could also use ground chicken, I think. I'm adding a little bit of oil to my skillet first because this is actually super lean ground turkey, but I'm just going to cook this until the turkey is brown all the way through. Next, I'm going to add the water as well as the taco seasoning, stir that around, and then just allow that to simmer for a few moments. Now, a quick note here, I am having this recipe, and also, I was kind of hesitant about this recipe, to be honest, probably because of the cream of chicken soup. I just wasn't sure about that, but my husband and I actually really enjoyed this. I recommend you give it a try. Next, I'm going to add that can of cream of chicken soup, stir it around, and just cook that for a minute or two just to allow it to warm up. Now, if you don't like cream of chicken soup, I'm sure you could probably use cream of mushroom or even the cheddar cheese soup. That'd probably be good in this. Now I'm going to layer the casserole together. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. In this casserole dish, I'm just going to spray some cooking spray, and then I'm going to take some Doritos, crush them up really well, and I'm going to add half of my crushed Doritos to the bottom of my casserole dish. Next, I'm going to add about half of this turkey taco mixture. And I'm trying to add the mixture in a layer without disturbing the Doritos as much as possible. I'm just taking my spoon and helping me along. Now I'm going to take half of my shredded pepper jack cheese, half of the shredded cheddar cheese, sprinkle that over the meat mixture, and then I'm just going to repeat my layer. So I'm going to add another layer of chips, add another layer of meat, another layer of cheese. Finally, I'm going to drizzle some taco sauce over the top. You could use your favorite taco sauce, and if you don't like taco sauce, I'm sure you could probably leave it off, but we like the flavor that it gave it. I'm going to place this into the oven for 20 minutes. Here is the casserole out of the oven. I did allow it to cool for about 5 minutes before I served it, and here are the finished plates. We just served ours with some shredded lettuce, some chopped up tomatoes and green onions, a little bit of sour cream. My husband has some black olives on his as well, and then we added a little extra taco sauce. Like I said, this was super quick and easy, and this was actually pretty tasty. I recommend you give it a try. For dinner the next night, I tried two new recipes. One was for a Huli chicken, and the other was for a Hawaiian macaroni salad. I'm going to start out by making the marinade for the chicken. I'm going to mix up the marinade in this measuring cup. You could also use a bowl. First, I'm going to take my pineapple slices. I'm going to drain the juice and add the juice to the measuring cup. You'll want to reserve the slices of pineapple, though. You'll need that later. I'm then going to add in the soy sauce, brown sugar, ketchup, sesame oil, ginger, and garlic, and I'm going to whisk that together really well. And I am having this recipe. If you're new to my channel, I just cook for two. It's just my husband and I, and so I usually will half recipes. I just like to tell you when I'm having a recipe. That way, you know, in case you watch the video and then look at the ingredients and they don't line up, you know why. And also, so if you're cooking for one or two, you know, you can kind of see how much, you know, half of the recipe makes. Once the marinade's done, I'm going to take my chicken, place it into a Ziploc bag. I'm using chicken thighs today. You could use boneless, skinless chicken thighs. In fact, I think that's what the recipe calls for. You could also use drumsticks or chicken breasts, whatever you have or whatever you, find on sale. I'm adding the marinade. I'm just going to kind of smush that around a little bit, and then I'm going to place this into the refrigerator. Overnight is best, but if you don't have overnight, you know, just a couple hours will be just fine. Next, I'm going to make the Hawaiian macaroni salad. I've boiled up some elbow macaroni. I've drained that. I'm going to add it to this bowl. Then I'm going to take the apple cider vinegar, sprinkle that over the macaroni while it's still hot, stir that together. Then I'm going to add in my shredded carrots and chopped up green onions, stir that, and then allow that to cool on the counter, and then I'll make the sauce for the salad. Now, a quick note here, I will say that I read several of the recipes for Hawaiian macaroni salads, and they all said that it's traditional with a Hawaiian macaroni salad to really cook the noodles until they're nice and soft. A lot of times when we cook pasta, we cook it until it's al dente or it still has some texture to it. And I thought that I had cooked my noodles long enough, but I didn't. They were still pretty al dente. And the macaroni salad was still good, but it wasn't as good as macaroni salads, or Hawaiian macaroni salads rather, that I've had in the past that are really nice and soft. So if you give this recipe a try, I would recommend that you make sure that you cook those noodles until they're nice and soft. It doesn't seem like it would make that much of a difference, but the softer noodles really soak up this sauce more. So for the sauce, I'm just combining mayonnaise, milk, sugar, salt, and pepper. I'm going to whisk that until it's well combined. Add that to my macaroni mixture bowl. Stir that again until it's well combined, and then I'm going to place a lid on this and put this into the refrigerator. You can refrigerate this for as little as 30 minutes or an hour before you eat it, but you can also do it overnight. Here's the finished macaroni salad. For my chicken, I removed my chicken from the marinade. I did not discard the marinade though, I kept it. I placed the marinade into this small pot. I boiled this for about 10 to 15 minutes until it was nice and reduced. The chicken, I just grilled it on my Cuisinart griddler. I also made some steamed white rice. I was kind of going for like a Hawaiian lunch plate. If you've never had one before, it's traditionally to have, one or even more meats, and then steamed white rice and the Hawaiian macaroni salad. For the chicken, I also took that pineapple that we reserved when we were making the marinade, and I grilled that while the chicken was resting. Here's the finished plate. We have the chicken, the rice, the macaroni salad, and I just added some chopped up green onions. The chicken was delicious. It was so, so good. The macaroni salad was good too. Again, I would just cook the noodles a little bit more, and then, it was just plain steamed rice, but this was a really yummy dinner. For dinner this next night, I just did some quick chicken salads. I really didn't feel like cooking dinner, so I just grabbed some frozen chicken tenders. I cooked them in my air fryer, and then I allowed them to cool for just a few moments while I made my salad. For the salad, I have some lettuce, tomato, cucumbers, shredded cheese, bacon bits, croutons, some fried onions, some of the chopped up chicken, and some green onions. And then I used some of the Ken's light honey mustard dressing, and that was dinner this night. For dinner the next night, we kind of went off the meal plan a little bit. My husband was really craving a burger. I didn't have any thawed hamburger meat to use, but I did have these frozen hamburger patties that we got at Kroger. So I cooked these in my cast iron grill pan. I just seasoned both sides with a little bit of seasoned salt and pepper and cooked them until they were done according to our liking. I added a couple slices of American cheese to my husband's burgers. I didn't want cheese this night. And then to go along with that, I made a loaded baked potato salad. I have a separate video on this. I'll link that in the description box below. I recommend you give that recipe a try. It's delicious. I also had some leftover Hawaiian macaroni salad that I set out. And then just set out tons of fixings so that we can make our burgers how we wanted them. Set out some hamburger buns, lettuce, tomato, pre-cooked bacon, some of this chipotle aioli that I got from Aldi, mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup, pickles, and then some leftover Big Mac sauce that I made for some Big Mac salads. And here are the finished plates. I didn't want any macaroni salad this night because I just wasn't that hungry. For our burgers, I've mentioned this before on my channel, but just in case you're new, when it comes to sandwiches or burgers, my husband and I are polar opposites. I like things very simple, and he likes basically everything but the kitchen sink. So for my burger, I just had some sliced tomato and some of the Big Mac sauce. And for my husband's burger, he had all of the fixins except the Big Mac sauce. That was dinner this night. Super quick and easy and really yummy. For dinner this next night, I tried 2 new recipes. One was an air fryer Monterrey Chicken. The other was for a sweet corn pasta salad. Both of these recipes happen to be from the Skinny-ish dish. I'll have the recipes linked in the description box below. I'm going to start out by making the sweet corn pasta salad. Now, I'm not following her recipe exactly. I'm just kind of using it as inspiration. In this bowl, I have my corn. I had about half of a bag of this roasted corn from Trader Joe's. I didn't have enough though, so I also used some corn. This is just frozen corn I got at Kroger. I did thaw the corn and I seasoned it with a little bit of seasoned salt. I'm going to add the mayonnaise. The sour cream, her recipe called for non-fat Greek yogurt, but I didn't have any, so I just used some sour cream. Then I'm going to add my buttermilk. I'm going to season that with a little bit of salt and pepper and stir that until it's well combined. Next, I'm going to add the pasta. I have some ditalini noodles that I cooked according to the package instructions. I drained it and then allowed it to cool. I'm going to stir the noodles in. If you've never used ditalini before, they're basically just short little tubes of pasta. Then I'm going to add some chopped up bacon, chopped green onions, and some sliced tomatoes. If you notice here in a second, I also add some bacon pieces. That's because I had cooked up some bacon for breakfast and we had leftovers, and my husband and I kind of snacked on it, so I didn't have enough bacon. I just used the bacon pieces. Either or is fine. The recipe also calls for some finely diced red onion. I had made this a few years ago, and I remember adding the onion at that time and feeling like it was way too overpowering, so I didn't add it today. You can add it, of course, if you'd like, but I'm going to stir that until it's well combined and then place this into the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. And here's the finished pasta salad. This was actually delicious. My husband and I enjoyed this. We had leftovers for lunch for the next couple days. Next, I'm going to get started on the Monterrey Chicken. I'm not following the recipe exactly, but here's what I did. I took some of this McCormick barbecue seasoning, had just a little bit left in this bottle, and I wanted to use it up. I would recommend this seasoning. It's been pretty good. In addition to that, I'm using some salt, pepper, and garlic powder, and I'm just seasoning both sides of my chicken. And then on this particular day, it was super, super hot. The heat index was like 105 degrees, and I did not feel like turning on the oven and heating up the whole house. And I certainly did not feel like going outside and using the grill, so I just decided to do it in my air fryer. But you can do it on the grill or in the oven if you prefer. So I placed the chicken into my air fryer. I cooked it at 360 degrees for about 6 minutes. I flipped it over, and then I'm going to add a layer of barbecue sauce. You can use your favorite barbecue sauce. I'm then going to place this back into the air fryer for another 6 to 8 minutes or until it's cooked to 165 degrees internal temperature. Next, I'm going to add some crumbled cooked bacon. I'm just using some of this pre-cooked bacon to make it easy, and some shredded cheese, and I'm going to pop this back into the air fryer for just a couple minutes until the cheese is nice and melted. Here are the finished plates. So to garnish, I added some chopped up tomatoes and green onions to the chicken and then served some of the pasta salad. This dinner was super, super delicious. I highly recommend both of these recipes. For the last dinner in this week's video, I took a lot of help from the freezer. In fact, everything basically came from the freezer. I just warmed it up. So let me show you what I made. First, we had some of this beef and broccoli that I got from Trader Joe's. We've never had this before. This was our first time trying it, and we actually really enjoyed it. Now, I can say, though, that it does have a little bit of a kick to it. It wasn't spicy for us by any means, but if you're someone who's super sensitive to spice, just know it is a little bit spicy. I'm just cooking this according to the package instructions. And while I was digging through the freezer to get the beef and broccoli, I found this bulgogi beef fried rice with kimchi that we also got at Trader Joe's. I cooked this in the microwave, again, according to the package instructions. Then I have these spring rolls. We get these at the Dollar Tree. There's 10 of these in this package, super great deal, and these are actually pretty tasty. I just cooked them in the air fryer. And then finally, we have this small bag of pot stickers that I also found while digging around for the beef and broccoli. Again, these came from the Dollar Tree as well. I just cooked these in the skillet according to the package instructions. Here's the finished beef and broccoli. Here are the pot stickers, the finished spring rolls, and then the fried rice. Here are the finished plates. So we have the rice, the pot stickers, spring rolls, and the beef and broccoli. For the spring rolls, I just did a quick dipping sauce. I didn't measure anything. I just used some soy sauce, sesame oil, sriracha, a little bit of crushed red pepper flakes, and a little bit of brown sugar. And then we also had some sweet chili sauce from Trader Joe's to dip our spring rolls in. This was really good. I was a little worried about the fried rice. My husband loves kimchi. I like it. It's okay, but I don't love it. And I was afraid that this fried rice would be really overpowering with the kimchi, and it wasn't. It was actually really good. And like I said, we enjoyed the beef and broccoli as well. We would definitely buy that again. And of course, we buy the spring rolls and the pot stickers from the Dollar Tree all the time. So I recommend you give these a try. That's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And don't forget to go check out Kat over at Southern Farming Kitchen's channel. I know you will love her and love her channel if you're not already subscribed to her. And Kat, thank you so much for collabing with me. I really appreciate it. And thank you for sharing that Doritos Casserole recipe. We'll definitely be making that again. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.